Hi, this is Mike, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at the Thermaltake Toughpower PF3 1050w power supply. It's fully modular and it's platinum. What more could you want? Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at the Thermaltake Toughpower. This is their PF3, which is the P stands for platinum. If you go for these names here, basically the 3 on the end is the generation of power supply, F you can ignore, and the P is for platinum, G is for gold, etc, etc. You get the general idea. So this is an 80 plus platinum rated power supply, which in kind of layman's terms means that at the very worst possible power correction, you're going to be getting roughly about 92% or more of the power that you put into the power supply back out into your PC. So it's very efficient and very, very well constructed. We'll go through today, do an unboxing, show you exactly what you get, take a quick look inside the power supply. Now clearly I'm in no way means able to test these things to kind of like scientific levels, so I'm going on the information provided by Thermaltake and reviews, etc. So do bear that in mind. Overall, I think this is the way the market should be heading. We really should be aspiring to running platinum or even titanium rated power supplies just for their power efficiency. Why waste electricity? It makes sense to, obviously, if you're paying the bills, you want to get as most out of it as physically possible. Now, obviously, there is a cost implication in this. And if you're going to pick up one of these on the market at the moment, towards the end of July 2023, you're going to be looking at just over £200 for this, which does seem like a lot of money, but it is backed up with a full 10-year warranty. So if you're someone who spends maybe £30–40 every year or so on a power supply, and you keep on upgrading and changing, wanting something a little bit better, over 10 years, this thing hopefully should start paying for itself. Anyway, let's take a look at the specs. So as you can see, this is a PCIe Gen5 compatible power supply. Now this is actually really important, along with the ATX3.0 specifications, which Intel have drafted. There's lots of things now that power supplies do, which previous power supplies just simply didn't, or it wasn't envisaged. Something which is really important is actually the power supply excursion limits. Now with this particular unit, you have got a 2x max overall excursion limit. So for a very brief millisecond, which is normally how it's rated, this thing can put out basically double the output. So 2100 watts. This is for only a very, very brief time, but with modern hardware doing all these transient spikes, it's possible it could potentially happen. Now with the actual graphics card side of things, as we know with graphics cards, especially Nvidia, the transient spikes have been causing actual physical things to go wrong with the graphics cards, as much as crashing and all that kind of stuff, because you're just drawing too much. Now this power supply has the ability to actually deliver up to 3 times the rated amount as an excursion on the new 12 volt high power connection. So normally they're rated for kind of 600 watts. So potentially you could have a very, very brief spike of up to 1800 watts on that connection and your power supply will stay working, which is obviously what we want. So all of that is all well and good, but if the thing sounds like a darn jet engine, then it's not a lot of good and can be quite distracting. So Thermaltake, using a quality fan, which is their TT1225 model, you've got the Zero Smart Fan technology. So if you want that absolute silence, you can turn that switch on and the fan basically will barely kick in when you're using up to around about 40% of the capacity of the power supply, or depending on the temperature actually inside the power supply itself. Or you can leave it off and you can just let it do its own thing. Either way, I've tested the fan just on a very basic load and it basically doesn't turn on. It's essentially silent as well. Even running things like 3D Mark and benchmarking and all that kind of stuff, essentially it's absolutely silent, so no worries there at all. You also got 100% Japanese capacitors, and I've had a look inside. This is actually using 2 main caps, which are from Rubicon, both 105C caps. And actually inside the actual layout, the design, the actual workmanship looks to be very high quality. And as we said at the beginning, we've got a 10-year warranty on this as well, which is almost standard for platinum-based power supplies, but it's always nice to know. On the back of the box, it goes over essentially the same kind of things that I've just highlighted already. You do have your 80 plus platinum certified efficiency, and there's a graph there kind of showing you how that works. For those of us in the UK using 230 volt electricity, obviously we do get a slightly better outcome from the power there. obviously in the US, because of the way power works, then there are those efficiencies that come into scale. You also got the fan noise curve as well, tells you about it there, and the maximum noise of this is about 37 decibels, although I've never heard it go anywhere near that, so yeah, your mileage may definitely vary on that. At the bottom here, we've got the low ripple or low noise. So this is going to deliver less than 30 millivolts ripple. Now that far exceeds the Intel specification, as you can see from the close-up there. So that is obviously a very good thing to see. And also to back that up, you've also got very strict voltage regulation. So you don't have kind of dips and spikes of the power. It remains nice and constant and nice and steady, which if you're using a high-end rig, that's exactly what you want to see. Looking at the connectors, to give you a list of all the connectors there, don't worry, we'll go through those in depth shortly. Also underneath we've got the output specifications. Now this is something which you should actually pay attention to, because there are some manufacturers on the market which aren't entirely 100% genuine about what they're saying for the sticker which is actually on the power supply. Now this one says on the power supply 1050 watts, and actually that is completely accurate based on our output here, 87.5 amps on that 12 volt rail, giving you a total of 1050. Now they could have quite easily added on the 100 watts as well, which they get from the 3.3 and the 5 volt rails, and say, yeah, it's kind of like a 1200 watt power supply. But no, they've stuck to their guns, and most manufacturers are starting to do this more so now, being more kind of genuine with their 12 volt rail, which is really the most important one these days. Now obviously, because you're spending a lot of money on a power supply, you're getting all the usual stuff. So you're getting under voltage protection, over voltage protection, all those kinds of things. I'll try and list all the things that it does on the side here. There's an absolute ton of things that this will cover. Obviously it has a platinum rating, so yeah, it is a very good power supply and does what it should do. And we'll take a closer look at it now. So as you get it out of the box, I must say as well, very well packaged. Everything is very nicely done. Styrofoam packaging, or foam to keep it all from getting damaged in transit, which is always good. And even little things like this where you get a little cover to keep it clean and tidy. So you remove that, and this reveals the power supply itself. And something which you'll notice is the fact that it's actually really compact. So this is 140 mils long, so it will fit into pretty much any ATX enclosure. Quite often you see them rated that they'll go up to kind of 160 or 180 or whatever it is. This is 140, so you shouldn't have any issues at all putting it into a case. And also it looks pretty nice as well. So you've got the logos on the side there. If you decide to go with it being fan side up, if you decide to go to it fan side down, then you have got the logo up the right way. So if you want to show off your branding, then you certainly can do. There's plenty of ventilation on the sides there, and also on the main fan section as well. You've got the Thermaltake badge, and also the kind of Darth Vader's bathroom kind of grill there, which I actually quite like. It's quite nice rather than having holes or hexagonal mesh. I quite like the look of this in general. On the top, you've got the same layout again, so it tells you about all the specifications. So if you're ever unsure, you can just refer to this should you need to. Obviously, power supply reference numbers, serial numbers, all that kind of stuff are on there as well. On the back, you've got your main power input, so traditional IEC lead there. You've got a nice clicky power button, as you'd expect, high quality one, because it is obviously handling quite a lot of current. And also you've got your smart fan switch as well. So if you turn it into the on position, smart fan is enabled. So what it'll do is it basically won't spin until it gets to a certain temperature threshold or wattage threshold. Turn it to the off position and the fan will pretty much spin all the time to keep it cool. So if you're in a case which has possibly questionable airflow, then maybe you might want to leave that on all the time. The choice is, as always, entirely up to you. Looking at the back, now this is where we've got an absolute ton of connectivity, and as you can see, it is fully modular. So going through the connections there, so on this side, you've got 3 outputs here for PCIe Express. So this means that this is essentially going to be compatible with pretty much every graphics card on the market. So whether you're going to be using 3 individual PCIe Express connection cables, the actual cables that come with it as well, there's actually 5 outputs. So you've got 3 cables. So if you just want to run a single cable to each part of your graphics card, you can do that, but there is actually the kind of daisy chain as well, so you can use up to 5 connections. Why you'd want to, I don't know, but potentially you might. So that's extremely well covered. You also got your main 24-pin connection at the bottom there. You've also got dual CPU EPS outputs. So if you're using a modern motherboard and you've got 2 of those 8-pin connectors for extra CPU power, then you can wire up both of those if you want to. You've also got the 12 volt high power connector, which is something of great controversy at the moment in the PC space. So this is essentially 12 pins plus an additional 4 for sensing. So if those pins aren't firmly connected, then it will only give out a certain amount of power to protect itself. essentially up to 600 watts is available on there for your GPUs, with excursions of up to 1800 watts, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Next up, we've got 4 peripheral connections, so this can be for your SATA or your Molex leads. So I think that's pretty much it for the power supply. Let's take a look at the cabling and see what we get, and we'll talk about the lengths of the cables as well. So the first one is going to be your main 24-pin ATX connector, so this is the main one that goes into your motherboard. All of these cables are 16 gauge cabling, so yeah, nice decent cables there. Appear to be very nice, and they're low profile as well, that kind of licorice type thing, so easy to cable manage. This one is 600 mils in length. Next up, we've got our EPS or CPU 12 volt, so you get 2 of these included. These break down, so they are 8-pin, you can just slide them apart to give you a 4-pin if you want to. 2 of those are included, and these are a little bit longer to give you a little bit more room for wiring to the top of your case. Both of these are 650 mil. Next, we've got our PCI Express connections. So these are your traditional graphics card connections. So they are split into 6+2, so for an 8-pin connector. Like I said, 3 of these are included, 2 of which have the kind of daisy chain, so 2 lots of connectors, so 5 connections in total for 8-pin and 3 cables. So if you are, again, running a pretty high-end graphics card with 3 of those connections, you can run 3 cables to obviously minimize the actual cables getting hot or whatever. It will obviously add to cable management issues, but then, yeah, that is the nature of the beast with those kinds of cards. I should mention as well, these are 500 mils long, plus the ones which have got the piggyback or the pigtail, they've got an additional 150 mils on added. Next up is the 12 volt high power, which is soon to be renamed to, I think it's high power 6x2 or something along those lines. Anyway, again, 16 gauge cable, very nicely done. A little bit of option for flexing them around a little bit. They've actually shrink wrapped them there as well to prevent some flexing and bending. Nice cable. This is going to be something we're going to see more and more of, hopefully. But hopefully it's going to be a thing where it's not so much of a problem actually plugging these things in, which obviously, if you've been catching up on the tech news in the last year or 6 months or so, how long these have been out, then yeah, make sure you plug these in all the way. This one is 600 mils in length. Next up is going to be SATA connections. So if you're running SATA drives or sometimes RGB boxes, that sort of thing, other peripherals, then you can connect those up as well. This has actually got 12 SATA plugs over 3 cables. So there is going to be 4 on each one. Now with these, you're looking at 500 mils to the first connector, then an additional 150 mils for every other connector. So in grand total, it's just slightly under a meter long. Next up, we've got the Molex connector, or peripheral connector as they're otherwise known. So this is the 4-pin Molex. Not many things are using these days, although Thermaltake do still use them for some of the control hubs. Basically, reason being is because these can deliver a lot more power than a SATA cable. So if you are using one of Thermaltake's hubs, which you've got absolute ton of fans connected to, this is the safest way of doing it to prevent any cables burning out. And again, something else which isn't often seen these days, but is used, this is the floppy drive style connector. This one is also used in Thermaltake equipment such as their hubs, so the TT RGB Plus hub. If you're using that, then you'll be using that. But also you do get some PCI Express cards and internal cards which will still use this. So handy to have, probably won't need it, but it's nice to have it rather than not. And I should also mention that all the cables come in this really nice little bag, so you can put the cables that you're going to use obviously inside your PC. Anything else that you're not using, put in the bag and keep it safe somewhere for when you do want to do a system upgrade. So there you go, that is pretty much it for the unboxing and kind of overview of this power supply. Again, I think personally this is something which the entire market and retailers and also purchasers as well should be aspiring to. Having a platinum rated power supply for its energy efficiency, safety, the power excursions, etc. I think it's something which we should be heading in that direction. Ideally, I'd like to see them come down in price and potentially not always quite as high wattage. But having said that, there are a range of these available from Thermaltake in various different wattages, so I'll list those in the video description. So maybe you don't want 1050 watts, maybe you want something a little bit lower. I'll try and include those in the listings below. But overall, yeah, I think this is a great power supply. It seems to be extremely high quality. The build quality is excellent. All the connections and connectors fit in really nicely and snugly, which again, going back to the HP high power connector is something that you definitely do want to see. And it's all backed up with that 10-year warranty. So there you go. That is going to be all for today. This has been the Thermaltake Toughpower PF3 1050w. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.